You told me a great story, which if I remember correctly, I didn't get on camera. I was wondering if you could tell it again, about you and Raquel Welch at the awards ceremony. Am I remembering that correctly?
No, wait a minute. The awards.
Was it Raquel?
Well, are you thinking of Jackie Bassett?
Oh, that's who it was. It was Jacqueline
wasn't
Bassett. It was Jacqueline Bassett.
It was Jackie's so cool. I mean, she still is so cool. I love her. And devastating smile.
Yeah.
No, that was up in Canada.
Yeah.
And this was the lunch after the 1:30 to 4:30 in the morning that it took me to write the story for Easy Rider. Mm-hmm. Then called Dennis on the phone and said, Dennis, check this out. And it was all put off by the hours before the 1:30 in the morning. That was the 27th. So on the 26th at lunch, the then American Motion Picture Association, whatever it is, it's meaningless to most of us filmmakers because it lacks teeth. But LBJ had put, oh gosh, he just passed away. Why am I blowing his name? At any rate, he was there and he was introducing himself. I'm texting. Mm-hmm. He said, "My friends, and you are my friends." I was like, oh man. He did it twice, like we weren't listening.
Yeah.
I was sitting down at this point on the floor, and there was a big white table at the top with big shots at it. And Jack Valenti.
Yeah.
So Jack then said, "We have to stop making movies about motorcycles, sex, like a TV evangelist, sex and drugs," looking right at me. I was there promoting The Trip, which is definitely sex and drugs, and I had just done with Roger Corman Wild Angels.
Yeah.
There was nobody else in the building that he could be talking to. And I was taping him. I had a little Sennheiser mic with a parabolic pack, small Nagra, and I was taping people. It was something else, another project I was doing. Nevertheless, he gave me the nice lesson: no more motorcycles, sex, and drugs.
And then Easy Rider goes out.
No, I'm signing autographs. There's pictures. We didn't have posts, so they're clipped to this guy owns 3 theaters, has $2, goes to 100 theaters, whatever it is. I'm signing things, sign it's what you do. Sign it away, and then pull this one 8x10, and in the middle of the 8x10, it could have been bigger than this. You're in a lens, so you really can't tell what that is. But that's how big Bruce Stearns and I were in this picture, and we were fully backlit. So I was packing them in the back of that Harley. I rode for Wild Angels, and I thought, who in publicity picked this picture for me to sign? Because if it's to Jackie and Mary and Beth Ann, best wishes and peace, Peter Fonda. But who is that? They wouldn't know. Maybe the guy who took the picture would remember. Because it was so backlit. And we were actually on the little cement path that goes to Venice Beach in California on the bike, because you can't take Harley Davidson in the sand. You can, but you're not going to go very far. Yeah. Unless it's a dirt Harley Davidson, a dirt tracker. But I looked at it for a while. And of course, I'd had some smoke and a couple of heinies. And
I love how honest you are.
I think I maybe took one sleeper.
Yeah.
I don't think I hit my second
Just
one
yet.
one. Buzz was fine though, and I thought, that's it. It's not about 100 Hells Angels going to a Hells Angels funeral. It's about these 2 guys crossing John Ford's west. Yeah. They're going to go east. I said, right. Herman Hesse's Journey to the East, a little homage to Hesse. Cool. And what's going to happen to them? They get there. The writing is cool bikes, okay, but they get there and they get killed, right? So I started with the ending. And in the ending, the way I originally conceived it, the back of the pickup truck that those guys were in were just full of ducks. So they'd been poaching ducks. Mm-hmm. So you don't know what it was that we smuggled through the border from the junkyard in Mexico.
Yeah.
It was some white powder, but we never said it. So I did that on purpose. I wanted the moralist to really have a problem.
Right.
and the way that Hollywood's so-called census works is if you do something morally reprehensible like that, you have to pay for it in the end.
Yeah.
Or someplace down that line. Well, by the time the ending of Easy Rider came along, they forgot what the heck Dennis and I were doing at the beginning of the film. Mm-hmm. And Dennis promised me it'll be real good coke. It was powdered sugar and it burned. Ooh. Now I know why I don't like this drug. I already talked too much anyway. It's not my drug of choice, but nevertheless, I'd done all that stuff, and I was working and writing and coming up with new things, working and writing, and then calling Dennis up. And it was such a great thing. I told him the story. He said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Well, you direct, I'll produce. We'll both write it and act it, and we can save money that way." He said, you want me to direct? I said, "Absolutely. You have the passion. You understand better about framing than I do. I can work the wheels better than you, but framing is more important than the wheels. And you understand that. You've been a photographer for quite a while, and of course, I want you to direct it."
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you called me, man. I mean, man, man, I was never going to talk to you again. Only Hoppy would have that. I'm never going to talk to you again.
Yeah.
But I knew that this would shake the cage.
Yeah.
And so the next day, that morning, it stopped for me at 4:30. I took a shower, couldn't go to sleep. After throwing sevens like that, it's too damn hard to go to sleep.
Sure. Yeah.
So I just put on my thing. My thing was then I had a really nice custom-made suit. My shirts were made in Rome, beautiful, tie, no shoes and no socks. So when I come in to do an interview like this, where's all the interviews looking? At my bare feet. Thinking, forgetting what they're going to ask. How come he doesn't have any shoes or socks on? Hook up. That's how you take over
That's
the interview.
how you become an enigma. Yeah.
No, or you take over the interview. That's all you keep on staring. I'm going to move my toes now. You look at them, and I'll talk right to the camera and see what my next move is going to be and who should be president and we should stop the war.
Yeah.
At any rate, now I'm up at this table of big wigs, but just to my right is Jackie, and I look really hot, no shoes, no socks. And there's a sheet that goes down, white tablecloth that you can't see that from the audience. But Jackie, of course, had been looking at it a couple of the days. She couldn't believe it. I said, "Hi, Jackie." She looked at my feet. She smiled this devastating smile. "Here, how come you're not wearing any shoes or socks?" It's because I'm going to say my foot. "Oh, you're dressed, Jackie." "Stop that." I said, that's what I'm going to do. And I started putting my foot up her leg. "Stop that." Well, I doubt very many people in that audience. There were 1,260 people. Most of them were Canadians, distributors and exhibitors. And although I had done really good for them with several films, made them a lot of dough, and I had a lot of appreciation from them, one likes that, they were probably watching Jackie, as I would have been at any rate, and wonder why is she hitting him on the shoulder, because they don't think you're going to here it goes. You're going to like, "Stop it." "No, don't tell me it's not that. This is cool." And suddenly, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Peter Fonda. "Excuse me, Jackie, that's me." And I got up the day before. Jack Valenti said, no more movies about motorcycles, sex, and drugs, but we do want to have a movie like Dr. Dolittle, which cost $27 million.
Yeah.
It was later revised upwards to $72 million. $27 million. I'll stick with that one. I got up there. They gave me this gold lighter. Had my initial hand engraved PF on the flip top. It was a zipper, one of those tall ones, And "Thank you, Peter. Canadian Motion Picture Industry, September 27, 1967. And I said, "Wow, I've never been given a gold lighter before. Of course, I don't smoke cigarettes." And it just that pause, there's a laughter. And then I did a thing about how I'm Picasso and I'm bringing my blue period paints into the gallery. And the gallery owner said, "Well, I really like it, Mr. Picasso, but frankly, the woman would like a little red in it." Picasso painted it in blue then because he could not afford red. Red was an expensive paint. And that was, the way it was. And I said, "I'm not really Picasso, but I'm saying I need to know what kind of movies you can show so I can make movies that you can put in your theater." Now, they had done very well with Wild Angels, which was motorcycle, sex, and drugs.
Right.
And I just had written a Easy Rider. Mm-hmm. They had no idea this was coming.
Yeah.
So I said, I need to know what kind of pictures I can make that you can show in your galleries, in your theaters, the kind of the kind of stuff that's interesting to the people that are in your community. I need to know that so I can make paintings that they want to see. I said, oh, and by the way, the only time $27 million should be mentioned is the box office, never the budget.
Right.
1,262 people stood up and applauded me.
Yeah.
I think Jack even stood up. Because
Well,
it
there
was
was no
so
foot
right
going
on the
up against
dome. What's this? How much a movie cost? That was never important before.
Yeah.
What was this? You know, because it cost us $385,000 to make The Wild Angels, and I can't, not too much more to make The Trip. Motorcycle, Sex, and Drugs didn't cost that money to put on film, because nobody was willing to do it. So there you go.
Yeah.
And that was Roger Corman. He opened those doors to me, and I went with a lot of other of Corman's graduates, we'll call them, Scorsese and on. We all went out and started doing our own stuff, and I'll always say thank you to Roger. I see Roger today. He's just as fine and happy and wonderful as he was way back then.
Yeah.
And he's doing very well in life. I'm very happy to say.
Now, I certainly don't want to bring everything down, but considering that we did lose Dennis recently,
Yes.
is there a certain memory or something that you have, maybe when you guys weren't shooting, that maybe something you've never told before, like an experience that you guys had together that just really sticks in your memory and makes you think, what a guy?
Oh yeah, I don't think I can say it on film. In fact, there's many, and they all make me smile, and that's the good part.
Right.
Because I can think back about being with Hoppy and some of the really insane stuff that we did that was so funny, and we didn't dare ever tell anybody else. That and Hoppy introduced me to brilliant people in the world of fine art. I actually hung out with Klaus Oldenburg, Roy Lichtenstein, Bob Rauschenberg, Larry Rivers. These were people that Dennis knew, and I had met Frank Lloyd Wright, but this is now a big thing.
Yeah.
I introduced Hopper to Dali,
Yeah.
which he wasn't so sure about, but I like that part.
Did you ever own a dolly?
I did a stage thing. I did a happening in Lincoln Center in New York with Dali.
Yeah. But did you ever own like one of his originals by any chance?
No, I don't have any of his artwork like that.
He's
but
always
I have
been
a
one
lot
of my
here.
favorites. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And,
well, to have that experience, to be able to work with him, it had to be amazing.
I have. I am on the board of directors of the Swatch Group. That's what we call ourselves. That's called Body and Soul. That particular Swatch.
Yeah.
This is not Swatch at all, but they let me wear it. On the board of directors of the Swatch Group, the chairman of the board, who's now dead, and his son is taken over the reins of the company. And his son always wanted to be a filmmaker and knew from the get-go this is what he was going to be relegated to running this immense company. We do lots of things. We run lots of watches. Mm-hmm. But Nick Hayek, Sr., who's now passed on, but he had a Dali sculpture in his office, and it was the clock that, like a pocket watch.
Yeah, the melting
Over the side. He had that, I thought, how cool. The guy who invented Swatch, he was an engineer before that. His systems analyst was his forte. And he invented this $27 plastic watch that was run by a little battery. He didn't like that because he didn't like the waist thing, but with a little battery, and you could take your part of the strap and give it to your girlfriend, take her part, put that there, and whatever that meant. You could fool around with that watch, mix and match, and have a fun thing. He saved the Swiss watch industry. He deserved that Dali.
Absolutely, he earned that dolly.
Oh, you bet.
Well, speaking of time, we only have so much time because you've got to go present an award for the Dallas International Film Festival, and we're really thrilled to have you here in Dallas. It means a lot.
It means a lot to me.
Yeah.
I couldn't come here when the AFI thing was all kick off because I'm big with the AFI. I'd like to do that. But I thought, heck, Hagman's here and it's Dallas. And I got some cowboy boots. Why not?
And they're
This
good
works.
They're good looking boots too.
They're made by a group called Rocket Buster.
Nice.
Hell of a name for a boot company. They're not Charlie Dunn's. They're actually Rocket Busters.
The great Peter Fonda, ladies and gentlemen. Man, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.